Hey artists, here is some information about working with your metal foil. So I have a little piece here that I will be working with to show you what is possible and what is not possible. First of all, this is your wooden stylus. It is essentially a pencil with no lead. So if you look at the tip, it's just a piece of wood, nothing in the middle. When you're looking at this stylus, the first thing I want you to consider is, will it make a dot in the foil? So if you are to press on this foil hard, it will indeed make a dot in the foil. So it is a mark visible on both sides. Can you make a line using the same method? Yes, of course. Press down, drag, it'll leave behind an indented line. You can actually feel this with your finger. Can you smooth that line back out though? This is much trickier proposition. I would try to use maybe the end of this, press it down really hard. If we're looking at just a dot, maybe you could say that it's good as new, but I don't know about you. I can still see that little line that I made there. So it is not really possible to make that piece of foil good as new after you've made a mark in it. Now, thinking about what you can make marks on it with your regular wooden pencil, we're going to examine, can you draw on it with your pencil? Not really. Pencil doesn't really show on there. Can you draw on it with your colored pencil? So I'm going to grab my set of colored pencils here and see if I can get maybe some red to show up on there. Yeah, see, that's not really how it's supposed to look, right? Maybe the slightest, palest hint of red possible. Can you get your watercolor paint to show up on it? So I'm going to go ahead and take my paint here, and we'll go with black just to see. That's not how it's supposed to look. Now, you might think because the way it's bubbling, you might have more success if you already have some grooves for that paint to sit in. And you could be right. You might have a little bit more success if you try to get that paint to sit within those lines. But it's not going to paint really the way you want it to. It's water-based, and so it has nothing to grab onto with this metal here. However, your Sharpie, because it is permanent, will be a lot more successful when you're trying to mark on this foil. So your Sharpie pen will mark and leave a mark, although a very, very fine one. So you might want to pull out your full-on Sharpie marker. Of course, if you have colored Sharpies lying around or available to you, you can see here I can color green on my foil. I can make all sorts of designs, and if you're quick enough, you can sort of erase that. So see how I can smudge it out with my finger? So when that Sharpie is still wet, kind of like tacky, you can smudge it and soften it and make some really cool effects. Now that Sharpie pen doesn't even work to begin with, so that's not going to do us any good at all. So last but not least, we're thinking about, can we twist or crumple or curl this foil? So you might imagine from looking at it and what you already know about aluminum foil, perhaps, that it is very possible to go ahead and cut this stuff. So using your scissors, it's not going to damage your household scissors or your regular scissors. You can cut it so you can change the outline, the shape of the foil in any way that you want. Can you then twist that foil? Well, of course, you see it's twisting in my hand as we're talking. So it's twisting. Could I then crumple it up? I could. Now watch these corners, okay? But you can crumple this stuff right up like into a teeny tiny ball if you really want to, and then try to uncrumple it back out, and you'll see you get some interesting crumpling lines. Can you also take this stuff and curl it? As you might be able to imagine, you can. I could take this little strip here and wrap it around my stylus, and it's going to hold that form. When I remove it, I have this awesome spiral curl that I could use to make something interesting with. Last but not least, you might wonder, well, I cut this off, Miss Gillis. Can I use my glue stick and can I glue it back on? Or could I attach this coming off the edge here. No. I'll show you. We can try. So you put some glue. But this is just Elmer's glue. Metal and Elmer's glue, not really. So is it going to stick? Yeah, it'll stick. I can pick it up. It's kind of stuck together there, but this is not a long-term solution, okay? It's like gluing a hole shut in your pants knee. It's not going to last. As soon as this dries or as soon as it gets bumped, it's going to come detached. So glue stick, also not really an option for this. However, it does do cool things as we saw. You need permanent markers, Sharpies, but you can cut, twist, crumple, curl, and shape using your wooden stylus very interesting textures and forms out of this foil.